How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, your Ginger Jody Geek. Welcome back to the channel for another live show. And I was going to say Saturday Night Live, but it's not. It's Monday Night Live, and that's because we missed Saturday. So as ever, I'm joined by YouTube's finest. We've got Luke from Hydra Collectibles. How are you, Luke?
I'm very good, thank you. Really glad to be doing a show because I thought we were just going to miss out completely. But here we are.
Yeah. No, I thought there was plenty to talk about, so we'll move it from the Saturday to tonight. And we've got Efren from Passpoint Comics. How are you, Efren?
Guys, it's 70 degrees here. The sun is out. I'm still wearing my shorts, and it's almost December. I'm doing fine. What about you guys?
Get stuffed. Just get stuffed, Efren. It's slashing. It's peeing down here where I am. I don't know what it's like for the rest of you.
I have
guys,
two duvets I sleep with now.
Would you so?
Two proper duvets. It's that cold.
Two duvets.
Two duvets.
So you're Scorchio over there as ever, Efren. Nice,
Yeah,
very nice,
so.
mate.
It
Always
does
a
get
pleasure.
cold during at night, though. It does get cold at night, so.
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, the heart goes out to you, Efren. Poor James is shivering with two duvets there.
Yeah. It's
Anyway,
cold.
speaking of Mr. Keegan, how are you, sir? Are you well?
Hello, baby.
No, James. No, man. We need to
I'm
bin
making it
that
a thing
one.
now. It's a thing now.
It's
Peter.
not
Like,
working, man. Hang on. Phil hasn't seen you for a little while, so we'll do a bit of a test run. Phil, ears attuned. Give an original James Keegan intro first.
Ew.
Okay. I was expecting James to do it.
No, I'm waiting for him. I'm not your dance monkey, Peter.
Oh dear. See, I don't have to work this YouTube gig anymore. I'm done.
James is trying a new intro, which to me sounds a little bit creepy. But try it again,
Well, that's
James.
the point. So, hello, baby.
No.
Yeah, Nightmare
No.
Nights.
No.
Terrible. There's also True Romance. It's not you know.
Is it?
No.
It is.
Okay, fair enough.
Why is Peter your baby?
I mean, yeah, you'd think it would be the other way around, really. wouldn't you?
You're the sugar daddy, but I'm the power bottom. So that's how we get on.
I think we should move on from that.
I'm
and we
feeling
are
ducky,
joined-
Peter, by the way.
Feeling
That's what I
ducky.
was
Good
about to say,
man.
yeah.
Good man. We are joined by not only, well, the one and only Phil from Phil's Nerdiverse. How are you, sir?
Hello, baby. Is that it?
Oh, see, that works.
Yeah.
That was better.
What do you mean that works?
That was. What do you mean? That wasn't kind of like, you know,
Creepy.
Jimmy Savile kind of talking. You know,
that's terrible.
that sounded good. You know.
Shocking.
I'm flattered.
My
Like, I'm
partner
certainly
crime
Jimmy's
over
novel.
here, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks.
How are you, Phil? Are you well?
All good. Like I say, it's been quite a while since I've had the opportunity to come into your living rooms, bedrooms, phones, wherever I am, and I feel I'm glad you asked me on.
Good man, good. Always a pleasure to see you. Right, we're just going to quickly jump to the comments, see who we've got. We have got good old StreamYard. Thank you for joining. We've got Cliff on Comics. Nice to see you. You will have to get you on a show, Cliff. Love to see you on a show, mate. We've got the original Big Dave, my pal Dave. Dave was also on call for another hospital this weekend, so we've both had, I think it's fair to say, Dave, an absolute shit show of a weekend. But yeah, nice of you to jump on, bud. We've got Connie. Nice to see you, Connie. Always a pleasure. We've got John Bromley. Nice to see you. Hope you are well. And we've got Sean. Thank you very much for joining, Sean. Our comic deal is Efren in the short short. Are you in short shorts, Efren?
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I'm just wearing long cargo shorts, so
You like short shorts?
no.
Sure.
that's more James style, not mine. So
That's true. And we've also got Bat Dan. Ayup me ducks. I like that. That's good. I hope you're well, Bat Dan. We've got Jack. Nice to see you, Jack. And we've got Ed Vic. We've just been talking about you, Ed. I hope
Only
you
good
are
things, Ed.
well. Only good
Promise.
things, Ed. Only good. Give him a wave, James. Come on. We'll give it. There we go, everybody. Give Ed a wave. Yeah. Ed was doing that literally all weekend. John's in sunny Tenerife enjoying the beer, watching my show. I'm not sure if that's
Do you know what? The best time to watch this is
you're
at
drunk.
2 p.m. in the afternoon with a pina colada. The sun beaming.
a pina colada.
That's what I did when I was on holidays.
I didn't expect the word pina colada to come out of your mouth.
What's the best?
Mr.
It's the only cocktail I drink is a pina
Is it?
colada.
Oh, I like a mojito. I like a mojito.
Ooh,
not all
now you're talking. Now you're
Yeah,
talking.
yeah. Or a Long Island iced tea, like that as well.
ooh, yeah.
Yeah. And we've got Fuzzy. Always a pleasure to see you, Fuzzy. And we've got Deadman. Nice to see you as well, bud. And Dave saying, putting it mildly there, bud. Yeah, it was a shit show, mate. It was an absolute shit show this weekend. Okay, guys, we've got tons to get on with, so we're going to crack straight on. Just wanted to quickly mention, as I'm sure you all know, I've now been monetized, so very, very pleased about that. And just to say that any revenue we make on the channel, whether it's from adverts, super chats, and all that kind of jazz, will be donated to a mental health charity. We'll do a bit of a kind of a poll at the end of the, probably is the end of the financial year or something, to decide which charities we're going to give that to. Tons to get through tonight. We'll start off, as we always do, with the Geek Report. And Phil, I just wanted to put you on the spot a little bit, because it is a long time since we've seen you. First off, can I just say that is an amazing image. That's from our friend Kev, is that right?
That's from Kev Wales. I mean, he even got the belly proportion correct. So fair play. It's really good.
Yeah. I love it. And I love the fact that you're ripping up a copy of, what is that book you're ripping up there?
It's some really random, crappy book called Kingdom Come. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. That's very good art anyway.
No. So listen, it is lovely to see you back on the channel. What have you been up to since the last time we saw you? Because it's been a little while. What have you been reading?
Reading? All right. Well, see, because of the Nerd Herd and you're reading every week and you're reading stuff that you don't want to read, and let's face it, I pick all the good books. But unfortunately, I have to read the terrible books along with it.
Yeah.
So the last, 2 months, I've just been reading my backlog, and it feels good.
Yeah.
I've been getting stuck into the Captain America Ed Brubaker run, which I'm into the 3rd omnibus.
Yeah.
Love it. Like, why have I taken so long to read that? I'm just trying to catch up on some all-time classics and picking up some stuff that I really should have and really should read, to be honest. But it feels good having that freedom to do it,
Yeah. It's nice not having to... I mean, I found that, why we started that comic book show a little while ago, and it was great, and I enjoyed it. But having to read books that potentially I didn't want to read, like, New Year's Evil and all that shit, or whatever it was, the Hallows Eve thing.
What was the one that we read, and it was fantastic, and it was like Sepid or something? It was like a crepid something. It was like a horror thing, and it was like a bug or something, or a snake came through the sand. It had wee bobbly eyes. What was that called?
No idea what you're
Crepid or something. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna watch it.
Oh God, no! I do know what you're talking about, and it wasn't. It was horrific.
The Abominable Snowman was on it as well. It was a great issue.
Yeah,
that was great.
God, horrendous. Just going to interrupt you there a second. John, you didn't have to do that, mate. That is very, very kind of you. Thank you so much, John, and do appreciate that, mate. Like I say, all of the money goes to charity, so thank you very much. I do appreciate that, to charity. Fuzzy saying you should just read books you already like, Phil. It's all the rage. Yeah, it's very true.
I'm a slow learner. I'm getting there.
Yeah, it's very true. Okay, guys, moving on. Just quickly wanted to touch on this. We mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. This is Digital by Rich Watkin. It's on to chapter 5 now. I had Rich on the show a little while ago, and it was superb. This is still up for crowdfunding. So please do go check that out. It finishes on the 1st of December. So just a couple of days to get in there on that and try and jump in and secure yourself a copy. It's a fantastic book. So please do go check it out. Any of you guys read the first few issues? It's a really interesting story. It's well worth picking up. He's done a trade paperback, and he was also at Thought Bubble as well. So please do check that out. Okay, first bit of news for you guys. I don't know if you have seen this. This is all just very much in the kind of the rumblings and rumours phase at the moment. But apparently Kevin Feige has said that he wants... Is it Anya Taylor? Is that right?
Anya Taylor-Joy?
Yeah. To be a part of the new Fantastic Four reboot. And she's going to be a Herald of Galactus, apparently, is the role that they're trying to push her for. And that's either going to be Nova or a female version of the Silver Surfer. So, what do you think about that? Anybody got any thoughts? I mean, I think she's a cracking actress. But
What's she in?
On that?
What else is she in?
She was superb in, I know it's not the best movie, I know people criticise it, but New Mutants.
Yeah.
She played Illyana, Rasputin.
Queen's Gambit,
Yeah.
Split,
Yeah.
The Witch. She's
The menu was good.
the menu.
Oh, yeah, I
she's
forgot she was in
phenomenal yeah. Fantastic in everything she's in. I assume there must be a female Silver Surfer character in
So I
Marvel.
don't know. I'm not. I mean, there's bound to be one in What If or something like that, but I can't say I've ever seen a
in the main
female
universe.
Silver Surfer.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not crazy about gender swapping lead characters. I think for like side characters, it's often not important to who they are, and they still feel like that character. But she's an amazing actress, and like I think that it could work. So I'm not against the idea necessarily.
Yeah, I think I'm the same, James. I'm not a big fan of her playing the Silver Surfer unless it's a different version of the character.
Yeah.
But I could certainly see her as Nova. I mean, that's a Herald of Galactus. That would work. What about you, Luke? Any thoughts on that?
So yeah, I would agree that she would be great for Nova, not necessarily a Silver Surfer. But at the same time, I think all of these casting rumors at the moment for Fantastic Four, X-Men, etc., I think it's all temporary. I think it's all before Secret Wars actually hits the ground running. So I think we'll see these characters. They will be that version. They'll make claims that it's that version and everything else, but then we will lose them and we'll get
fresh
other versions of them later on. So I do think that this is all just building up with that whole multiverse idea. So these will be different characters.
Yeah, interesting. Phil, I'll come to you next, and then Efren, but not necessarily about this. There's been another casting rumor for Fantastic Four, kind of out just today. I've just seen, which was James likes to pick us up on names, so I'll get the name wrong. James, is it Cecil Murphy, the guy from Oppenheimer?
Who?
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy.
Cecil Murphy.
I don't know. I'm really how he I don't know the rest.
Killian.
Cecil.
Killian.
Could not be further.
That's what I said. Killian. But he's been rumoured now to be aligned to Doctor Doom. What do you think of that, Phil?
He's phenomenal.
If you've ever watched Peaky Blinders, he'd absolutely know he'd nail a Doom, I think. I'd love that. Like, he'd be one of my top choices for that.
What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, he would pull that off, definitely. I think he's fantastic. As for the Silver Surfer, I mean, I don't want to be that guy. But I understand why people will probably be negative towards it because the Norrin Rad story is excellent.
Yeah,
and I don't want to lose that. But as Luke was saying with the Secret Wars, I just don't think Marvel know what they're doing because the whole issue with the guy who's playing Kang as well, they don't really know what they're doing. So I think they're maybe just trying to pick things to try and see what can work and whatever else. And they're all rumors. Who knows, really?
Well, this is it. It's all just up in the air at the moment. But there's some interesting kind of, I think, character choices come out. What about yourself, Efren? I know you're a Fantastic Four fan.
I think it's interesting that it's getting people talking even before the movie's even in pre-production or production. I'm with Phil. I just think it should be Norrin Rad. It should be a male character. I mean, we've known him since the 60s and what he's gone through when he was basically stuck on Earth. He couldn't leave Earth for a while in the comic books. I just think it should be a male character.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be interesting. I'm excited to see the movie. Fantastic Four is one of my my guilty pleasures.
Just please be good.
Yeah,
I know. Yep.
Need a good Fantastic Four movie.
I know.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So the previous incarnations of Fantastic Four, and especially the Silver Surfer, I actually quite like the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually, in terms of, it was Lawrence Fishburne, wasn't it, who voiced?
Yeah.
That's they should just bring that back.
Yeah.
Just bring his voice
Is
back
it,
for that.
I've forgotten his name. Is it Doug Thingy, the guy who does Abe
That
Sapien?
from for Hellboy and
Yeah.
Shape of Water and all. Doug. That's annoying me now. Yeah, no,
I can't remember his surname. But I'm with you, Phil. I actually, do you know what? I really enjoyed Fantastic Four 1 and 2. I thought they were both decent.
Yeah.
Because for me, Fantastic Four shouldn't be a gritty kind of hard-hitting movie. It should be a family fun kind
Cheesy.
of. Yeah, a little bit. So I thought that fuzzies on the ball there, Doug Jones. That's it, mate. Thank you very much, Doug Jones. So I enjoyed it, and I thought they did well with the power sets as well. They actually made the powers not look too rubbish. Because Mr. Fantastic, out of all of them, is the one that could look trash on screen.
There's parts of scenes where it looks bad.
Yeah,
like there's the dance sequence in the second one.
I
That's
love the dance sequence.
it's
I love the dance sequence.
But does anyone else think that the casting is too rich? Like the people who they're saying are going forward for these roles, they seem too good because like we know Marvel like to build people up as opposed to go all in. Now at the same time, maybe they need that star power to drive the movie to get people back in the seats. But this is why I think it's temporary before Secret Wars, because I feel like they're going to put people in the seats for that version, and then it will change afterwards.
I don't think Anya Taylor-Joy's on that level though, like where everybody knows. Like Phil didn't know who she was at all, or what she was in. So I think she's like well known to a lot of us, but not super mega A-lister. So like her taking a lead.
I mean that's a very valid
surprising.
point. That is a very valid point, but I would argue as well that we don't really have the A-listers anymore. Like there aren't really those big movie stars anymore, are there? Like one would argue maybe Will Smith was one of the last of them. Then you got people like Tom Cruise, whereas she is someone that people are starting to notice. So she's kind of right on that cusp, I feel.
I don't know. I kind of think as well that with the Fantastic Four, depending on how they play Secret Wars, obviously, the other Marvel movies, Efren, just mute yourself.
Mute yourself.
With the original Marvel movies, they were starting off with almost unknowns. I mean, you could argue Robert Downey Jr. because they had that trajectory to build them up and establish the character, blah blah blah. I've got a feeling with Fantastic Four, they're coming in. These guys have been around for years. They're established. They are the big guns already. Hence, that makes sense that there would be maybe better known actors because they're not having that development over years.
Plus their budgets, the budgets are
Just
going to be
more money
massive.
to pay them.
Yeah.
Plus Pedro Pascal. I mean, apparently he's good.
It's not very good.
He would be quite. I think he'd be good at it. Although I'm with everyone else, I don't really want him to play Mr. Fantastic.
I don't either.
He would be good though. He did the good job.
Dave's just jumping in here. I've not heard this one, Dave. This is interesting. Henry Cavill and Margot Robbie as Terminator and Sarah Connor in a Terminator reboot. Where's that come from? Not heard that one.
See, I get sounding like an old man here, so I love Terminator and T2. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, just leave it alone. You've tried how many different movies since, and none of them have really worked. Terminator Salvation, I liked it. It was a very different style of movie. But overall, just think of something different. I don't want to say a reboot of Terminator. Sorry.
Yeah.
Leave it.
I think I'm terminated out for the time being. I think I'd like that left alone for a little while, to be honest. James, I'm going to come to you and then Efren next for this bit of news. Dave Filoni, how do you say his surname? Is it Filoni?
Yeah, Filoni, yeah.
Filoni, yeah.
I should have just been confident. Is now being appointed as the Chief Creative Officer for Lucasfilm. Now, I don't really know what that means, but is this exciting news?
Absolutely, he's the Feige now. I think effectively, he's going to be in charge of where the story, laying out the roadmap for the storylines for everything going forward. He has delivered the best Star Wars stuff, I think, over the last few years, like Andor aside. So yeah, I'm very confident in him taking over. I think everybody's wanted him to for a long time, and now he's going to be given the reins. I think that's fantastic.
But it's interesting that it says Lucas. It's not just going to be Star Wars, then, is it? That's the reins to, I would imagine, all of their movies.
I mean, what else is there? It's Indiana Jones sort of crashed and
Indiana
burned
Jones.
lately. Willow's gone now. Yeah, what else is there, really?
That's true.
Yeah, it's just Star. I suspect he doesn't have a care much really for anything other than Star Wars. So, that's probably
What are you thinking, Efren? I know you're a massive Star Wars fan.
I thought he already was in charge of everything over there when it had to do with Star Wars. I think it's a great choice, but I also think they should include Jon Favreau in that in some capacity. I mean, he does really good movies too. I think it's a good move. I know he's basically, like you said, Star Wars, but I would like to see him tackle other things if he's got a passion for it. Like he does Star Wars. So
How about you guys? And sorry, Efren, I cut you off.
That's okay. I said we'll see.
Oh, we'll see. Right, good man. Luke, Phil, anything from you guys on this? I know, Phil, you're a massive, massive Star Wars nerd, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, live long and prosper and all that.
Yeah.
I just like Rafa Khan. That was my favorite Star
It was.
Wars.
Mine as well, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, no, I actually do like Star Wars. I know I sometimes take the proverbial about it, but I don't know who this guy is. I find it amazing how people know these background people who are in charge of things and they compare it to stuff. It's like, I don't know what he's done previously to warrant getting this kind of role as efforts that he thought he was already there. So this may be a good Star Wars movie for a change,
Oof, I mean, Big Dave in the comments is probably agreeing with you. Star Wars needs a break and rethink the killing it. Dave's not a fan of the new Star Wars. What about you, Luke? What do you think of this?
So I've come to the realization, and this was brought on through Marvel and seeing like the downhill slope with the latest phase of Marvel, where I've realized that one person shouldn't be in charge of everything because we're only seeing their vision. We're only seeing their version of what they want. And I miss the days of seeing other versions of those characters being brought forward by other creators and other people. Now, you could argue, well, that's how they have a whole shared universe and everything else. I get that. You do need someone keeping continuity, but I don't feel that. I just don't think for this long period of time you need one person in charge, because then you're getting a very narrow story. It doesn't open up as much as it could.
Yeah, that's a fair comment.
But he won't be directing everything. He'll just be in charge. I mean, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, but like
yeah.
even with Kevin
Just
Feige, I
overseeing
would
it
argue
all.
that we're only seeing his version of what the MCU could be, as opposed to, like, we all know all the other stories, all the other things that just never get a look in.
Yeah.
If it boils down to one man making that decision, he's always going to trump everyone else who comes forward because he's in charge.
Plus, I actually think that the MCU almost got too big for Feige. I think it became too much, or maybe he should have changed hands to somebody else.
But then also, like Star Wars, up to this point, they've cancelled more movies and shows than they've released.
Yeah.
So I think you need somebody to say this is happening, that's not. This is happening, that's not. And
I mean,
get it out. Like,
I'd hate to disagree with you, Luke, but I kind of think that I agree that you need that person over kind of looking at with the longer term plans and the mapping it out. But I think what Feige did at the start, I'd argue maybe he's not now, but at the start was he had that overarching plan, but then he let individual directors do their own thing and do their own movies. Do you know what I mean? So you had variation. You had your James Gunns bringing with things like Guardians and stuff like that. I can't imagine Feige was too involved with the writing and stuff of all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I think the filling. I can't get names. You know what I'm like. Dave. I'm just going to call him Dave. I think Dave having an overarching view would work, but you're absolutely right. If he's too involved in every single project, that's where it leads to trouble. But I think you do need someone with the bigger picture kind of loose touch, light touch, directing, I guess.
the problem with the movies as well was that there wasn't that, with episode 7, 8, and 9. So yeah, I'd be more confident if
See,
we get
that's the
some
thing.
music.
Everyone knows Rogue One is the best modern Star Wars movie. It didn't have a path. It was a prequel. It knew where the end point was. Just don't give us like a 3-story trilogy. Just do standalone movies.
Yeah,
That's it.
I think that's a great point, Phil. I think that's a great point. And I think we've talked about it before that, we seem to have become this audience that they seem to think wants every single thing connected in some way. Well, actually, we don't. I mean, I don't. I think a standalone movie is just as strong. Using Rogue One as an example, yeah. Luke, I'm going to come to you next with this because this has got us a bit excited. So we've got a new Karate Kid movie coming. We've got Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio, both going to star in the movie. So we're coming together of the two universes. And I don't know if you saw, but they're doing like a talent search for the new Karate Kid. So they've done a video, and you've got to send in your video auditions to be the Karate Kid. What do you think of this?
Well, this is concerning because they reckon this film's going to come out next year. So the fact that they haven't even found the Karate Kid yet is a bit scary. This is kind of like the multiversal mashup that nobody saw coming, right? Like,
Yeah.
how is this even a thing? Like, they both have the same history. They have the same background, same story. It doesn't mesh. Like, even if you brought them together and said, well, it's a complete coincidence, they're from the same thing. Who's making that noise?
I think that was someone breaking wind.
But how does this even work? It seems crazy to me. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No, you're right. Batman's just saying he loves how daft Cobra Kai is, and from what I understand, they've approached the writers of Cobra Kai to be.
Well, this is
involved
the
in
thing,
this.
because where does it fit in with Cobra Kai? Because surely he's the character of Daniel has already found his new team and his new people. Like, what's he looking for next? I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense for this to exist.
No, I know it's an interesting one, but I can't say I'm not excited.
Oh, I'll still go watch it. Absolutely.
Yeah. What
Cobra
about the
Kai's
rest of you guys?
fantastic.
Anybody
It doesn't
excited
even-
for this?
It doesn't
Phil?
even make sense. Cobra Kai is great. And funny enough, it's actually the guy who played Mr. Miyagi originally. Pat, is it Morita or something his name was? I think he died 18 years ago this weekend. So
Oh,
they
did he?
announced that. Yeah. It's weirdly I remember because it was the same weekend George Best died, and we were in the bars chanting "There's only one George Best." Like some people were singing "There's only one Mr. Miyagi." In the bars, like 2005. So. But yeah, so it's good that they've announced planning some sort of Karate Kid future. Bring it on.
So getting loads of feedback, guys. I'm not sure who that is.
It's Efren. Efren, you sound like you're about to be abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
I don't know what's
It's
going
not
I
me.
haven't
I was,
said
I was
anything.
muted.
but there's kind of ambient noise coming from your mic.
Maybe if we're moving
Really?
ourselves when we're not talking, guys, that
Yeah.
might help. Just a bit. There we go. So yeah, so you're saying, Phil, that it's... I forgot what you were saying. What were you saying?
18 years this weekend
Yeah.
since the death of Mr. Miyagi. And I just quite like the idea that they're going to continue some sort of Karate Kid legacy. But it does need to make sense. It really doesn't. It's Cobra Kai. It's just give us it. Just give us a bit of fun.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I've not watched much of Cobra Kai. I've watched a little bit of it now and then when my son was watching it, and it looked like utter crap to me. I have to be
It's
honest.
stupid fun. It's stupid. It's
dreadful.
like, I mean,
It's the equivalent of a popcorn movie, but watching at home. It's just it's something nice and easy that you can put on.
Yeah, it's not my. I don't know. I'm excited about this because I remember the original Karate Kid back in the day. What about you, Efren? Are you excited about this?
Does that sound better? I took off my headphones.
Yeah, it sounds
Okay, there's my headphones on. I don't know, man. I'm not really interested in it, to be honest with you. You know, I didn't even know they were going to be in. I thought they were just announcing there's going to be a whole new, like a reboot of the Karate Kid without Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan. You know, so Jackie Chan's character. Does anybody remember his name in the movie?
I don't think I've actually seen the Jackie Chan version. To be
wait,
honest.
so it's not Mr. Miyagi?
It's not Mr. Miyagi, right? That's what I was wondering.
Oh, I
I
don't know.
thought it was. I just assumed it was.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I mean, I love Cobra Kai. I thought it was excellent. You know, I think there's one more season of Cobra Kai. I'll wait till I start seeing the preview, see if I get into it. You know, by then, you know.
It's the Karate Kid, No Way Home.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. What about you, James? Are you looking forward to this?
I've never seen any of them, so I don't.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
You've not seen the original?
Never seen
Kid?
Karate Kid.
I'm not. No.
Oh, do
I
yourself
know
a
wax
favor
on,
and
wax
watch
off
it.
and all, but
Yeah, watch it. You'll
I don't have
enjoy
time
it.
for that,
Yeah,
nowadays.
I think you'll like it, mate. I think
Yeah.
you will like it. Okay, bit of silly news. We've got finally a casting from the Superman movie, or another casting from the Superman movie. We've got this gentleman, Skylar Gissenden. I don't know what his surname is, but he's been cast as Jimmy Olsen. I recognise him from he was in the reboot of the Vacation movies. I don't know if anybody saw that.
Yes, that's where I know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's the most
excellent.
Jimmy Olsen looking person I've ever
Well,
seen.
he
I
is.
think
He
that's-
is. But again, racism in action, isn't it? It's, you know, losing roles and stuff like that. He's not ginger. Jimmy Olsen's meant to be ginger.
all right,
isn't he?
okay, yeah.
Terrible. Absolute disgrace. Dr. Von Hoot is just saying that Jackie Chan's character name was Mr. Han. So this is interesting. I mean, I recognise the actor, like I say, from the Vacation movies. Are you guys getting excited about this new reboot of Superman? Is anybody interested in this? Phil,
Well-
start with you. Are you? Sorry.
I think just kind of what we're saying there about the MCU and kind of pulling nobodies to play their roles. Almost like the DCU, you're trying to do that. Because I don't know who this guy is who's playing Superman, but he's younger.
Yeah.
And then the person playing, is it Lois Lane? They've announced as well. Announced somebody.
Yeah.
Was it Lois Lane?
So the
And it's
guy
like,
who's playing Superman, I watched him in a movie last night. I watched Pearl. And James messaged us during it, and he's very good in Pearl.
He's
So
fantastic in it.
He's
Yeah,
got
he's
good
one of my
acting
favourite
chops,
characters,
you
like,
know.
that's it. I think. I mean, this is what my problem with Pedro for Mr. Fantastic is. Like, I think you need to go young, not being ageist. I just feel like these movies are going to span over 10 years probably.
Yeah.
So getting these kind of lesser known people to do there's no expectations really. So we can go in and just enjoy the movie. Yeah, just I don't know who this person is. It's a shame he's not ginger, but maybe they'll dye his hair or something, and then you could be offended when they do that.
Terrible. That's terrible. I feel a whole host of Instagram posts coming about this. Luke, what do you think, mate?
I was just going to say they said about Lex Luthor casting, didn't they? Nicholas Holtz,
Fuzzy's just saying that, yeah.
which was the guy from Renfield and everything, like all about a boy, and he was in Skins and all that lot, wasn't he? Or
Yeah.
He's a
can't
beast.
remember.
Beast in
He was
X-Men.
Beast in X-Men as well, yeah. Superb actor. I think he's great. Again, in the Menu as well. He played a great part in that.
He's fantastic in that one.
So
yeah.
that got me excited when I saw. I don't know any of the other casting people. I didn't recognize any of the actors. He's the first one where I've noticed and I've gone, yeah, he'd be good.
Yeah.
So that's excited me.
Yeah, I think I think he'd be tremendous. He was amazing in The Menu. One of my favourite movies. So yeah. Anybody else got any comments about this before we move on?
I think that that character that plays Jimmy Olsen, he looks kind of old. To me, Jimmy Olsen should be like almost like a teenager. That's not me. But
So you think he looks too old, Efren?
I think he looks too old, So
All right, you, James.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the movie. Nicholas Hoult, I think is fantastic casting, and he's wanted like a big. I know he was Beast, but he wanted like a big comic book role. He went for Batman, didn't get it. Went for Superman, didn't get it. So I hope he's to sink your teeth into a villain. I think is exciting for him. I'd imagine so. Yeah, looking forward to see that performance.
Couldn't picture him as Batman or Superman, mind. That's
No, it was down to him and Pattinson, and he won it. I remember they like it was announced. I remember like the day before Pattinson was announced that it was like down to them too. So I wanted Pattinson, but yeah, I think
What a sad state of affairs of the two people. I mean, he's very capable. Don't be wrong, but Robert Pattinson and Nicholas Hoult as your two choices for Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
It's just like there's bound to be others. Come on.
Yeah, no, I agree. Batman's just saying here, I need a Peacemaker season 2. I absolutely loved Peacemaker.
yeah.
Superb series, absolutely superb. Gaming types, Invincible, one of my favourite characters, is coming to the Fortnite platform. I didn't realise people still play Fortnite.
Yeah, it's the biggest game in the world, Peter.
Still a thing, is it? I thought
Still,
that died
just
off
doesn't go
years
away.
ago.
Yeah, no, and this is why is they keep adding like whenever a big movie comes out, they'll get the main characters or big TV show, they'll get them in board. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I don't play Fortnite, so I don't care really, but it's.
Any of you guys play?
like it.
Phil, you look like a Fortnite player to us.
I have tried. Unfortunately, like I play quite infrequently. That I'm playing guys who play for 12 hours a day, and I just die straight away. I can't even get a weapon. Sometimes I'm dead with my wee mallet. I can't do anything. But
Sorry, say that again for us. I love that.
You die with my wee mallet.
Dead with my wee mallet. I like that. Yeah.
You start off with like a mallet or an axe or something. You have to go around and get some guns and bullets and stuff. And I just don't even get them. I'm not good enough. I don't know where to land. Everyone else knows where to go. I'm just not very good. But I have played like in squads with my friends, and we're like all like late 30s playing Fortnite. It's quite sad. But when you play together, it can be fun. Like we're all shit together, so it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, my son played Fortnite when it kind of first came. It must be a couple of years old now, is it? 4 or 5 year old Fortnite?
It'll be longer than that. Yeah.
I
Because
remember
PUBG was the big one about 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And Fortnite came out at the same kind of time. But then Fortnite leapfrogged PUBG straight like within like the first year. That's easily about 10 years, I'd say.
I mean, I remember it coming out and my son getting really into it, and I had exactly the same experience as you, Phil. I would go on and just be dead in seconds, you know. Efren, you a Fortnite gamer?
I don't even. Last time I played video games, I think James wasn't even born. So I don't play video games at all. So
And Luke, what about yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm not a gamer at all. Definitely never played Fortnite. Not against it, just never played it. Never even seen someone play it.
Jack's in here, hopes Jensen Ackles is James Gunn's Batman. I would love that.
Yes, please. That'd be great.
I know, James, you've been a big fan of his for a long, long time, but I have to say, watching him in Generation V and in, what you call it, The Boys, I've fallen in love with him. I think he's superb.
He plays Batman in some of the animated stuff as well. So like he's
he voices him, doesn't he?
Yeah, you can tell why. You can get a preview, I guess, of what that would look like there.
Yeah. Very cool, very cool. Okay, guys, going to just quickly touch on some of the books we've been reading over the last few weeks. We'll start off with you, Efren.
I started reading. I finished reading Hollow's Eve. I really like this character. She was introduced in the Spider-Man X-Men crossover. She's been around since the 1990s. I don't even know about that. You know, I think her name is Janine Goodard or something like that. I forgot her name, her actual name. But I love her powers. Basically, they gave her a bag, and anytime she pulls a mask out of the bag and she puts it on her face, she becomes that character. You know, she gets all the strength of that character. In this series, she put on the mask of Captain America, and you know, she got his capabilities, and she put on a mask of Hulk. Yeah. And I just like, she's like a anti-hero. You know, she seems like she wants to be a bad person, but she starts helping out, you know, on the good side. So I think it's a very fascinating character. I highly enjoy it. Hopefully, it was a mini series. And hopefully, you know, they'll continue with this character in Amazing Spider-Man or her own series. You know, I really liked it.
So I read the mini series from a couple of months back where she was putting on like a werewolf mask and a vampire mask.
Yeah, that's the one. Yes. Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed that. I think She's an excellent character, and just a shout out to Fuzzy Dunlop. He sent us, I think it's our first appearance or a Virgin variant cover of our appearance as a gift of kindness. So thank you, Fuzzy. Really do appreciate that.
Yeah, the writer, I had to look up the writer. Her name is Erica Schultz. I've never heard of any other things that she's written, but it's for this miniseries that she did,
I recognize the name.
Yeah, me neither. So, I mean, I really enjoyed it.
And then we've got this other one from you, Efren, which I still haven't read, but I've got to get into it.
I didn't know this was a thing, and I'm excited to read it now. So
the covers for it, James, are stunning.
I read the first issue already, and I love it. It seems like it's an Elseworld. It's not in the regular continuity of DC comic books. The Legion of Doom, I believe, they go into Skull Island, and before that, they go to Superman's House of Solitude, whatever. And then Puppet Master, I believe, or Puppet Man, he picks up like this amulet, and then they get kicked out and they get transported to another part of the world, and they end up in Skull Island, and they see all these monsters, and then he goes, I wish I had these monsters in my world, and all of a sudden they're transported to their world, so to speak, and it starts from there. And I
love every word you just said there.
Yeah,
that sounds fantastic.
Honestly, James, some of the covers for this are amazing. I picked the one for the Killer Comic Show.
Some of the movie poster style ones.
Yeah, picked one for the Killer Comic Show on Thursday, where it's just got Godzilla in the background and his head slightly turning, and you've just got a small image of Superman kind of staring him out. And it looks amazing.
I haven't read issue 2, but I heard there's going to be a fight between Godzilla and Superman, and they're going to decide who's the strongest. So I really love this series so far.
Any of you guys read either of these?
Yeah. I was actually massively disappointed in the first issue. Yeah, because for me it took a long time. It was like Clark Kent's trying to propose to Lois Lane, and there was a lot of dialogue about that, and less monsters. I want more monsters, less proposals. I thought it would have been more balls to the wall with Godzilla and Kong and the rest of it, but it was quite tame for that. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. I just thought I was expecting something a little bit more, but I'm sure as the issue or the series goes on, it's going to pick up. But definitely, I'm here for Godzilla. I'm here for Kong.
Yep.
I'm not here for wedding proposals. Sorry.
You're a heartless man. Oh, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm looking forward to this. I'm not sure yet. I might leave this. It's 6 issues, isn't it? I might leave it till the end of the full series and read it in one kind of big go rather than monthly, I think. But it looks interesting. Certainly looks interesting. Phil, you mentioned these earlier. Tell me a little bit about these.
This is like, why did I wait so long to read this? This is phenomenal. If you like Captain America, he is known as like the kind of like the Boy Scout, isn't he? The kind of the goody two shoes hero. This is just a wee bit kind of darker. Now, obviously, you can see in this picture there are spoilers galore here. The second volume's called The Death of Captain America, and the third volume's called Captain America Lives. So it's very much they took a lot of this for the Winter Soldier movie. This is the first volume comes off the back of the Civil War, where is it the Superhero Registration Act?
Yeah.
So basically, they kind of Red Skull's pulling the strings. He kind of gets Captain America in front of the courts in public, and he's gunned down essentially. So he dies, or does he? And then you have Bucky Barnes stepping in and taking the mantle. And I'd say it's all the characters are great. Steve Rogers is great. Bucky's great. Vulcan's great. Sharon Carter's great. It's just it's a great series so far. I'm on the third volume, but I think it's just 2008.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
an old series.
It feels like why did I waited so long to read this? That's great.
It's it's absolutely amazing. And like you say, it introduces or reintroduces, shall we say, Bucky, the Winter Soldier arc. I remember reading it at the time, and Fuzzy's just asking, is this the Brubaker run? It is, mate. It is. It really is a very, very strong story. So worth reading if you've not read it. Any of you guys read this run?
Yep, I got this in single issues.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely great. Well, a couple of the single issues actually had a misprint in them where you ended up with another half of a different book.
Right.
But luckily I managed to get a corrected copy as well. So I think those misprints were selling for quite a bit, but I kept both sets.
Very cool.
I love this series. They finally found the right way to bring back Bucky, So now they just got to work on Uncle Ben and bring him back the right way, and we'll be set, so
And I think it's interesting what you said, Phil, about Captain America being the Boy Scout. I mean, Superman and Captain America are always termed the Boy Scouts. But I think what people forget about Captain America, and I think what this series really brings back, is that, yes, he's very much a moral character, stand for, justice and all the rest of it. But at his heart, he's a soldier. So he's not frightened to make the hard decisions and to pull the trigger if need be.
He does what he needs to do. You're right. You see him with like a gun, and cutting down enemies here. And he doesn't hold back. But again, very different from the movies in that respect. But like I say, he is a soldier. But yeah, this is just a phenomenal run. And I'm hoping it ends as strongly as it started.
It does, mate. It does. It's tremendous. Okay, one. Oh God, what was this? One from me. This is James Tynion, The Deviant. Any of you guys read this one yet?
Nope.
No.
This was really weird. I don't know what I went in expecting. Be interesting to know, Fuzzy, because I know Fuzzy's in the chat, what you thought of this. So this is by James Tynion. It's a Christmas tale. It's basically the setup where can't remember the dates, but back in the 70s, there's a Santa Claus, a guy in a Santa Claus costume, kills a group of kids and a whole host of people and strings them up. Gets caught and put in jail. And then 30, 40 years later, or whatever it is, there's a young lad interviewing him in jail. And as he's interviewing him, it kind of starts to become clear that this guy isn't necessarily the murderer. And then at the same time, more murders start happening with this guy in the Santa Claus costume looking exactly the same. It was really, really interesting. I guess what I would say, there's an awful lot. I'm trying to pick my words carefully here, gentlemen. But the book, when it talks about the Deviant, isn't necessarily referencing kind of the murders and things like that. There's a lot of stuff in this about homosexuality and things, which was really interesting. It's not necessarily what I expected going into the book, but it worked well in the context of the story. But yeah, it's got us intrigued. It ended on a good point for me. I'll definitely be picking up the following issues, I think. But none of you guys...
It looks very festive. I'll give you that.
The artwork's stunning. I was very careful, Phil, to pick some images that didn't give away too much of the story. There are some real gruesome killings in this, which work really, really well. Fuzzy is just saying, loved it, intrigued for the next one. Yeah, I'm definitely picking up the next one, Fuzzy. Dr. Von Hoot, The Deviant, the slasher bits are amazing. I have some issues with the prison scene, but I'm sure they'll make it all right as it goes on. Yeah, Bat dancing. He was tempted by the Deviant. The Bermejo cover looked awesome. Yeah, it is. There's some great variant covers on this. It's a great read, very well paced. I'm looking forward to number 2. Yeah,
me too. I need to go to number 2.
Yeah. You're going to number 2. Yeah, it is. It's a great story, so I would recommend reading it. It's different. Efren, these Wolverine's arms looking a bit sore there.
So that's why I picked this. I just started reading it. I think I've just read the first couple of issues. It's Predator versus Wolverine or Wolverine versus Predator. I mean, I've liked it so far. I mean, Predator finds Wolverine when back in the 1800s, and he goes after him before he became Weapon X, and they have a battle, and then Wolverine sort of wins. He just escapes, and then he comes back. But when he comes back to fight Wolverine again, he's going through the Weapon X program, so he doesn't remember him at all.
Right.
And it goes through there. And this scene on the right-hand side of Wolverine's arm, I've never seen it beat up so much where they show like the bone. I thought it was a very graphic looking picture of him showing how much the Predator is putting him through. So that's why I picked this as one of my reads. I've really enjoyed it so far. A lot of action, Phil, from the beginning, unlike the Justice League, versus Godzilla versus Kong. So I think you'd like this book.
No romance in this one, Phil.
No romance. Nobody's asking anybody to get married or anything.
Yeah.
It looks right up my street. His arm is hanging off. There's a trail of blood.
Yeah, I like this so far.
Yeah, I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to pick this one up again when it's out in trade paperback, I think. I think the artwork looks amazing. Looks really, really cool. So looking forward to that one. Phil, this is something you sent in?
Yeah, so this week was the Riddler Year 1. This serves as a prequel to the Batman movie. Paul Dano is the writer. He's the guy who played the Riddler in Robert Pattinson's movie. It is what it is. It's Year 1. This is him becoming the Riddler, and it's hard to say it's good because it's a bit bleak, a bit it's a very psychological drama, and why he becomes how he becomes in the movie. But there's these parallels between him and Bruce Wayne and him and Batman, and essentially he's trying to do the good. There's a lot of injustice in the world, corrupt politicians, the kind of mafia mob bosses and stuff.
Yeah.
So he just goes about things his own different way to Bruce and to Batman. Again, it's not like it's every issue was like building something up fantastic. It was just, it had me intrigued the whole way. You're just unraveling the layers of this character. And Paul Dano, I think he's terrific as an actor, and I think like a storytelling too. Like it's the way he does it. It makes you like be creeped out by this character.
Yeah.
But that's the intention, of course.
Has he written comics before? Or
No,
is
this is his first.
Very good.
But yeah, I thought this was terrific. Subic is the artist. I think it's not the guy who done Harleen though. You're thinking of Stefan Sajic. This is someone different. Stefan Subic. I'm sure they probably live in the same kind of part of the world. I don't know, but they're different people. But the art is it's grim,
Yeah,
but it's
I like
good.
that.
Really good.
I like that painted style. Any of you guys been reading this? No. Looks interesting.
It's just, like I say, I'm not a big fan of the Batman movie, but I was definitely intrigued by the Riddler character because he's not the kind of, the jokey one you see in, the current Batman comics, for example.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is him trying to unravel where all the money laundering is going, and he thinks he's doing the right thing. But of course, killing the people he kills, that's not really the right thing. But it literally ends, this book ends right where the movie begins.
All right. Okay. Interesting. I mean, I liked his character in the Batman movie. I'm with you. The Batman movie didn't exactly blow us away for whatever reason. But I would probably read this because I did find the Riddler character interesting. I wanted to just quickly mention these two, mainly really to get Phil's take, because I know you're a big Venom Carnage fan. This is a reboot of Carnage where he's got the symbiote's got godlike powers, and then has anybody read this yet?
I gave up on Venom and Carnage.
Sweet Jesus. So basically the symbiote has become like a god. It's not got any of the original weaknesses of a Carnage, of a symbiote anymore, so it's immune to all that. It goes to the Palace of Gods, or whatever it's called, and slaughters everybody. Goes back to Earth, ends up in prison, eats somebody, and then regurgitates them, but changes the DNA of the vomit. So it's Cletus Cassidy again, and then re-inhabits Cletus Cassidy.
I hate everything you've just said.
Yeah.
I mean, I read it and my brain hurt. I don't really understand what was happening, to be honest. Awful lot. I mean, Efren, you would hate it. Awful lot about religion and kind of trying to make parallels of a Church of Carnage or something. Anti-Venom's in there. He's got his legs back. I thought Flash Thompson lost his legs.
Well, the whole point of the symbiote, isn't it, with Agent Venom and everything, is that the symbiote acts as his legs, right?
That's what I thought. Look, but then the artwork in this, I mean, I have to go back and relook at it. But he had normal legs again. He had proper legs. Yeah, he's wandering around on legs. So I don't know. I mean, it's very graphic. There's a great scene where he splits somebody in two from the top of their head down, and you see them kind of fall out. So it is a gruesome comic. I cannot see I'll be picking up issue 2.
Hang on. You're talking about the whole legs thing. Is this to do with the Kindred storyline back with Spider-Man, where like all things got undone again, and I think there was like, because Flash Thompson had died and he was resurrected. That might be the reason why.
Yeah, most likely. It didn't do a lot for us. Void Rivals, I kind of stopped at issue 3, so I've read the latest 3 issues just the last couple of days. I enjoy the series. It's keeping us intrigued. It's got some good drama to it, some good action to it. This ends the kind of the first arc, ready for the second arc. It's got us interested. Anybody else reading Void Rivals?
Yeah, I've been reading it. Yeah, I've liked it so far. I'm not caught up, but I've been enjoying it.
It's funny because I'll be reading the issue and I think to myself, okay, it's okay, but it's not doing it for me. And then it always ends with me wanting to read the next one. Yeah. It always ends really well. Yeah. So Robert Kirkman, he's on to something. He seems to know what he's doing.
Yes.
I'm a fan.
It's an enjoyable series. Okay. Anything anybody wants to show off? Have you guys been picking up anything you want to show off this week?
Yeah, I
One
got
sec, I'm
something.
getting mine.
Hang on. Well, go to Luke first. What you got, Luke?
So, I saw this online, and as you guys know, I like my Planet of the Apes. And as soon as I saw it, I just had to try my best to, win the auction and get hold of it. This is by an artist called Dave Caster.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not familiar with who he is, but
I've heard of him.
I've definitely heard the name. But I saw this on one of the Planet of the
Oh,
Apes
very
blank
nice.
covers, and I just thought it was absolutely superb. So it comes with a certificate of authenticity. It's all
Nice.
all signed and everything. But yeah, I just instantly fell in love with it, and I'd done a little bit of research. I went onto his Instagram profile, etc., and he's done loads of different sketch drawings for this series. I do think this is the best one. I think I lucked out with that. I think I found the best Planet of the Apes one that he's done thus far.
Very cool. I like that.
But it arrived today, and it also came with a small sketch card as well, which again is all printed on the back as being one of these official sketch cards. So I
It's
thought
just
that was
James
a
the comic deal doing this because he loves those wee cards. I think this is James.
Yeah,
I thought it was a really nice touch to include that little freebie.
Yeah.
So very
Is
thankful.
he is he British? I just wonder if he'd be a thought bubble or something like that next year.
No, it came from the States, so I don't know where in the States he was, but it took a long while to get over here. But yeah,
Looks
very
really
cool. I like that. Efren, have you got anything you want to show off?
Next, nope. Sorry, guys,
No,
I don't have anything. No, I haven't been buying much. I've been reading online, but I haven't been buying much stuff. So I'm going to LA Comic Con, so maybe next time I'm around, I'll have some stuff to show.
Good. Is there any exciting guests at the Comic Con that we can get you to go and say hello to?
There are some guests. I don't remember them offhand, but I'll talk to you about it behind the scenes. I'll let you know when I'm going, and maybe we can do if you go live on Saturday. I should be there.
because then we can tick them off our bucket list as people we've met.
Yeah. See, we've met them. We've met Sam Jones now. Yeah.
Yep.
James T of the Keegan. Have you got anything you want to show off?
I do indeed. So I bought off of Comics Curing Cancer.
Oh, it's arrived, does it?
It's finally arrived. Yeah. So I got this. It's from an artist called Dan Needlinger. It's a Daredevil sketch cover, and it's like one of the most amazing looking sketch covers I've ever seen. Like I
That's
just saw it,
very
I was like,
cool.
I have to have that.
And I mean, you paid pennies for that, really, for
It
a
was like
sketch cover of that quality.
$45 or something like that, and like I think on his website his usual sketches are like 250 or something. So like I got a steal. I feel bad almost like. But,
No, hold it up again, James, because it's coloured, isn't it? The eyes are the eyes red slightly? The glasses. I can't.
It's
really
kind of
tell.
like a more brown tint on the glasses, sort of kind of thing. But like it's just like it's looking at it, it's amazing that this
Phenomenal.
That shading is amazing. Like the way.
incredible. Yeah. So I'm delighted with that anyway. So.
Very cool. Very cool. Phil, have you got anything you want to show?
I'm on a bit of a book buying ban, but I did pick up something recently. And we mentioned that the DCU earlier today, and my aim is to read a lot of things that are going to make up the DCU going forward. So I picked up an Absolute. Pete, you'll love this.
Oh, I love
And it's
Absolutes.
Superman
just get that one.
for all
Yeah.
seasons. And this is like cloth.
Yeah.
I think it's really kind of like textured or something.
Yeah.
I know nothing about it. I think it's Grant Morrison as the writer. No, it's not. It's Jeblo Tim Sale. There we go. But I kind of want to read stuff that's going to make up the DCU going forward. So this came yesterday, the day before,
Look at that.
and that's Superman for all season, the Absolute.
It's a stunning edition, that one, and the actual series is really, really good as well. The artwork is phenomenal.
Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah, looking forward to get stuck in. It's my next read after Captain America. I can't have too many big books at one go, so
Yeah.
it's next.
I've really got into all the hardback books now. Like before, I would just pick up trades. Now I'm waiting for the hardbacks.
Yeah.
Like I think it all looks nicer on the shelf. It's nicer
Honestly.
to feel in your hands, and it's just all round nicer book.
Yeah.
They're just
Honestly,
more
look,
premium when you just.
think- Yeah, when you go to absolute editions, I can't. I now purposefully sit and wait instead of buying other hardback editions in the hopes that an absolute will come out or an oversized edition. I think it's just from the old eyes, but I just love them.
Do you know something? I made a mistake though, Pete, because Christmas is coming, and me and my wife did a Christmas list, and I sent her a link for an Absolute of Kingdom Come, I think it's called.
Tremendous. Well done.
Yeah. So if I'm a good boy, Santa or Sister My Wife will bring that
It's
to
a
me.
good one. It's a good one. You'll not regret it, mate. You'll not regret it. Couple of things just to show off. I think it was Dr. Von Hoot. Don't know if he's still in the chat, but Von Hoot mentioned this a little while ago. Got this from the States. So this is Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Apparently it's very, very good.
That was the one that sold out everywhere, right?
Yeah. That's
You
right.
managed to find a copy.
Well, I found 2 copies, look. Yeah. So I got the standard cover and I got the variant cover as well. Not read it yet, but it looks amazing. Teddy bear murdering people, can't go wrong with that. So looking forward to that. This next thing is absolutely Fuzzy Dunlop's fault. So you know that I've bought the Super 7, or I've pre-ordered the Super 7 Cat's Lair from Thundercats. And I've started picking up some of the Super 7 Thundercat figures. So I've picked up this one. This is a very limited edition Ghost Jagger. Jagger, sorry. Oh, get out. So this is, you can get Jargar in his normal kind of figure, you know, with his normal skin tone. But I think if you're going to have a Jargar, you want the kind of the spectral, see-through, clear plastic version.
Absolutely, especially if you got that Cat Slayer.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was really pricey because it's a limited edition version. But yeah, I love it.
I actually paid quite a lot for the Mumra that I purchased. He was expensive.
Is that the glow-in-the-dark one?
No, this was just like the regular one, but I pounced on it when it first came out. I should have probably waited.
Yeah.
It was a number of years back now.
I should have probably waited on that, to be honest, because it's gone down, I think, since I bought it. But never mind. Okay, guys, so that's the different bits and bobs we've picked up. Let's have a little look-see at some of the TV and movies we've been watching recently. Wanted to mention this, Doctor Who. Now, I know Efren's not a big Doctor Who fan. James, you're not a Doctor Who fan?
I actively hate it.
You actively hate. I mean, you don't just hate it; you actively hate it. James. Just look at the screen and look at those little eyes on the white thing looking at you. How can you not love that?
It probably looks shit in the show though, doesn't it?
It didn't.
Yeah.
It actually was phenomenal in the show.
It actually gets better and better in the show.
Yeah. It was superb in
Shocking.
the show.
Yeah, I consider I've seen some Doctor Who effects, you know.
Yeah. But listen, this for me, guys, and I know Phil, you've watched it, I know Luke's watched it. This for me was everything I needed it to be. Nothing against Jodie. I did enjoy elements of the previous Doctor Who show. I think she struggled with shitty writers, to be honest. I think it didn't really live up to the promise. But David Tennant has always been my Doctor Who, and I absolutely love Catherine Tate. I know she's not everybody's flavour, but I love Catherine Tate as Donna, and I just think the banter between the two of them is top notch, and she's hilarious. She's hilarious. This episode I thought was great. It's very much standard Doctor Who in that it's got some great emotion to it, some great special effects at times, some poor special effects at times, and some absolute cheesiness, almost childlikeness at times. But overall, for me, this was a stonking reintroduction to the David Tennant Doctor Who era. I loved it. How about you, Phil? What did you think of this?
Well, I messaged you on Instagram whenever I seen the poster for the show, and I said, "Are they cashing in on this kind of cute little animal, Grogu kind of phenomenal here?" And little did I was so wrong for what it becomes. I don't want
You say that, but I want one now.
We're going to fit in well with some of your questions, but it's just it was great. I love David Tennant as well, and to be fair, Matt Smith was good. But I think I've always kind of struggled with Doctor Who since David Tennant left, and I'm so glad we got him and Donna back, and there's a bit of closure there. And I love Wilf, the granddad.
Oh, no.
I hope, and he's unfortunately died. So I didn't know he was going to be in it. In one of these episodes, so I can't wait to see him. He's terrific.
Yeah, so I read somewhere that they've managed to film some stuff with Wilf, but not as much as they wanted. But we will still get to see him, which is fantastic. Luke, what about yourself?
Yeah, so I've been thinking about this all day when knowing that we were going to come on here, and I don't know quite how to put it all into words. Overall, I love Doctor Who. Overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was really great seeing David Tennant back on screen again, as well as Catherine Tate. I like her. I'll just get the big thing out of the way. I felt some of the pronouns things were very forced. Like it took me back. I was like, hang on a minute, and I've always been okay with characters like Captain Jack Harkness and stuff like that. So I've never had a problem with any of that. It just felt it just took me away. I was like, what did they say a minute there? But it didn't ruin my enjoyment. I carried on watching, really enjoyed the show. The other thing that I wanted to mention was, are they doing with David Tennant for with Doctor Who and the BBC the same thing that Marvel are now wanting to do by bringing back Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans? Is it just because it's got so shit prior that they're bringing back the older actors to get the ball rolling again?
Maybe, but what I would say is, don't forget that pretty much every anniversary we have had over the last 10, 15 years, some kind of callback. So we've had David Tennant and Matt Smith's Doctors interacting with each other. We've had all the previous Doctors appearing, like the last episode of the Jodie one, so it's not out of place in Doctor Who.
I will say I watched my personal favourite Doctor is Matt Smith. I watched the Christopher Eccleston ones, I watched the David Tennant ones, and then I watched Matt Smith. Then I stopped watching it, so I didn't see the last two Doctors at all. I came back for this one, and obviously I love old Doctor Who. I like all the much older stuff. I even like the movie that they did with old What's Socks that didn't do very well.
I know who you mean. Can't remember his name.
Yeah, Paul McCann, wasn't it?
Yeah,
just said it, Pete.
So I even like that. But yeah, overall, are we talking spoilers for this, or are we keeping it very?
I think everybody in the chat who's commenting has probably seen it. So
I don't care.
I don't think there's anyone here who doesn't want to hear. They've already watched it, or they don't care, like James. Yeah. So because I could spoil it. That
little white thing. The best way to describe him, right? He's a mogwai that has evolved into a gremlin without changing.
Yeah.
Like, he was just epic. It was like having one of those werebears when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And the minute that change happened, I was just like, oh my God. And I paused it and I rewound it back and I called my wife in from the other room and I was like, you've got to see this. Because it was such a turn and it caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, I loved this. It was really good. I didn't realize it was going to carry on though. I thought this was a one-off, and the way it ended it's implying that there's more, right?
We've got 3 episodes with David Tennant and Catherine Tate, and then
so 3 more to come, or 3 more?
No, 3 in total. 3 in total.
Okay.
So are these set during his run of when he was the Doctor, or is it he's
come back?
He's just regenerated back to David Tennant, and they don't know why. Why this face is back?
Well, that's convenient, isn't it?
But the thing is, I always like Rose. Remember Rose?
Yeah,
and obviously this character is called
Piper.
Rose. So is there parallels between the Billy Piper Rose and this new Rose? There's a lot of unexplained stuff, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot to try and unpack, I think, over the next 2 episodes, and I hope we don't necessarily get a complete reset when we get a new Doctor. I'd like to leave the door open so we can get Matt Smith back, David Tennant back whenever we want. Do you know what I mean? I like the idea of them being able to regenerate. Just going to jump to the chat. Now, what I would say is 95% of the comments in the chat are really positive. Fuzzy, pure mince.
I try. When he said CBBC kids program, that's exactly. I couldn't have put that better myself. Yeah. That's how.
But the thing is, these are made for families. So I'm okay with that. This is a family show that you do sit and watch with your children. And Doctor Who has always been that.
Yeah, that doesn't justify Aunt Luke, because I like Spider-Man and that's for kids as well.
But I would argue,
yeah, but Doctor Who's always a bit. It's always Doctor Who has always been a bit different.
I would argue, James, that there's a bit of snobbery going on there, because you're saying the special effects. That is no worse than some of the shit we're seeing in Star Wars. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, it's worse than some
it's not. I tell you what, the special effects on Meat.
Well, okay. Generally, in Doctor Who, the effects are pretty bad.
That's what I was going to ask there. Is it because of the low production value is why you don't like it? It is.
No, the thing is,
I've tried to watch it and I just couldn't.
The thing is Doctor Who isn't low production value. Doctor Who is all prosthetic makeup. It's all animatronics. Yeah. It's very little in the way of CGI.
When they do CGI, it looks crap. Often. But it's interesting. I do agree with James in some regards, because even within this episode, you've got what I think are stunning effects with Meep. He looks brilliant. But then the flying lizard creatures were really old school Doctor Who kind of creatures, I think.
Something else that did take me out of it, I didn't know his sonic screwdriver could create
It's
like
a new one.
shields.
It's a new sonic screwdriver.
I didn't like that. Like, open doors, fix things. Don't make bulletproof glass. Like, it's not. We don't need the Doctor doing that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just quickly jumping through the comments. Cliff saying Rose was amazing. No idea what Hydra was talking about. Did you say you didn't like Rose, Luke?
No, I didn't say that at all.
No, I'm not sure.
No, I was saying about when they asked Meep about his pronouns.
Oh yeah. Let's have a look.
So I've never seen Doctor Who. What is his purpose? I mean, what is he doing?
It's traveling
Saving
through
the
time and space.
universe.
Okay, I was wondering. Since I've never seen it, what would you guys recommend? Like, I'm going to give it a try because I've never seen it. What would you guys recommend?
Start from 2005 with Christopher Eccleston if you want.
2005?
If you want to keep with the modern stuff.
Oof.
That's already a deal breaker. I love that. An 18-year-old show, no, thank you.
Can I just say though, like the Doctor is the worst time traveler in the world. Like, his promise every time to his companion is, "I can take you away and bring you back like you never left," and it always goes wrong. Like, he's a crappy time machine. Like, you can teleport anywhere you want. That's fantastic, but as far as time is concerned.
And it's been on TV for 60 years.
Oh yeah. It's an
On and
series.
off, though, isn't it?
And I said 2005, Efren.
Yeah. I think what I would say, Efren, is Doctor Who for me is very hitty missy. You get some absolutely brilliant episodes, and then you get episodes where I just can't get behind because it's either too silly or too childish. Like the one where the lumps of fat, they were CGI. They were running around at one stage. That was crap. But it's got some real good emotion in it and some excellent, some quite genuinely scary episodes as well at times. There's some
I think
very good
every
episodes.
season has something amazing. Like that first season with like the whole Bad Wolf storyline. Then that's where you got like Jack Harkness and Torchwood and all that lot, which was a great spin-off show, by the way. And if you're ever gonna watch just a standalone thing, I know you got to watch seasons 1 and 2 of Torchwood to really understand who the characters are. But season 3, Children of Earth, just as one sci-fi story, is incredible. It's so well put together. It's a really good story.
Okay, guys, let's move on. I don't think we're going to convince James.
By the way, I just checked. Matt Smith is going to be at LA Comic-Con. So
is he?
If it's not a long line, I'll butt in.
We can meet him.
Yeah,
it'll be a very long line.
Yeah, I know.
I'd imagine for him.
Connie's just saying here, I might rewatch Torchwood. It's been too long. I'm really hoping, it's not being announced, but I'm really hoping we'll get Jack in one of these 3 episodes.
He's one of my favourite characters. He's literally Captain Scarlet brought to life. He's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Connie's, well, just before we move on, saying she'll watch the Sarah Jane Adventures as well. Connie, there was another really good spin-off. I can't remember what it was called, or if you remember, Luke, which was set in the Doctor Who universe, but it was set in a school and it was quite dark.
Yeah, it was like, it was a spin-off.
One season, I think.
Yeah, I do remember. That was on CBBC.
Yeah, it was very good. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Jack. Yeah, you're right, mate. Oh, hang on. I can't jump around. The Empty Child. Yeah, very, very cool. That's it. Class. You're right, Cliff. You're right, Connie. Class was very good. I don't know if it was on CBBC, Luke, because it was quite graphic from my memory of it. It was like an adult teen kind of thing, but it was very cool. Very cool. Okay, guys, moving on. Doctor Who. I'm looking forward to the next 2. And then we'll see what happens after the regeneration. But yeah, enjoyed this one. Efren, I've not caught any of this yet, mate.
The minute I seen previews for this, I had a feeling it was going to be a good show, and I just seen episode 1 yesterday. It's called Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. Here, it's shown on Apple TV. It stars Wyatt Russell and Kurt Russell, father and son. It's just the premise of it. I just started off, but I got a little bit confused in episode 1 because they jump in years, like 15 years. Like there's big gaps. But the opening sequence, it has John Goodman. He's running through like a jungle and he's huffing and puffing. And all of a sudden he stops off because there's like a cliff, but of course water there. And he turns around and there's this giant spider is just about to kill him. And he's got this satchel and he throws it into the water. And that satchel plays an important part. just when he's about to be killed, he's just like closing his eyes, like this big crab monster comes out of nowhere and it fights the spider, and he somehow survives, I think. And it just goes from there. It shows clips. They're in San Francisco, and one of the main characters, they have like Godzilla warnings, and they show Godzilla like tearing up the Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah. And they have it's a very, and I've just seen the first episode. I think episodes 2 and 3 are out so far, but I really enjoyed it. He was running. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but he was running. He was huffing and puffing.
Cracker.
This is definitely on my list, because I don't know if you realised, Efren, or not, but Monarch is very much linked to the previous Godzilla movies. It's been referenced throughout the Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
Is the organisation.
I heard it's in continuity from the movies, So yeah.
It's John Goodman's in Kong Skull Island. Yeah. Like some of the cast from that carry over to this as well. So yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely going to get on this because it looks great. Luke, I'm surprised. Have you not watched this one yet?
I haven't. It's on my to watch list. I just haven't found the time to sit and watch it yet.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to see it. I'm a big fan of these like giant monster movies.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, looking forward to seeing that one.
I actually went to Amazon yesterday because I thought it was on Amazon to watch it, and I realized it was on Apple and I don't have Apple, so I might wait for a few more episodes and then get a free trial or something to binge it. Yeah. But I'm dying to watch this. I love the MonsterVerse, Legendaries MonsterVerse.
Yeah, this is on my radar, and as well as that new Godzilla movie, Godzilla 1.
Yeah,
I think it's called. Can't wait for
that. I've seen the trailer
Japanese
for that
movie.
Yeah.
When is the Godzilla vs Kong, the new one? Is that this? That's made next year, is it? Summer.
The monster
Godzilla and Kong.
Yeah, I think that's not for another year. We've had the teaser trailer, haven't we?
Yeah, didn't we?
But I haven't seen anything since then, to be honest.
Okay. Looking forward to that.
I think the teaser came out before the actor strike and everything, didn't it? And then it's gone very quiet.
You might be. I think you're right. Yeah.
-1. That's what it's called. Dr. Von Hoot's just saying Godzilla -1 is the other version. Okay. Next. I've put this on to try and be as spoiler free as I possibly can. I think it's no surprise to anybody that I'm a massive fan of the Invincible comic book series, and I've been really enjoying the Invincible cartoon series, season 1 in particular. Season 2, I'm enjoying. There's no denying, though, it's got a slower pace to it at times, I think. Yep. I watched this with my son, and he actually, on this 3rd episode, a little way into it, said, just tell him to fast forward to the good bits. And it was like, that's not what you want to hear. Do you know what I mean? But I completely get what he's getting at. This episode, for me, had some great battling in it, and it's leading to some great interesting sets in the storyline. Anybody else watching Invincible? Phil, I don't know you all. What are you thinking of this?
The same thing as yourself. It was a really slow start to the point where I'm thinking, like, I watched the first season, and I loved it, and I started to read the books. But if I have to watch this, I've been thinking it's not really motivating me to read the books again. But the recent episode, where now we're getting a break, of course, there's like a mid-season break. Yeah, it picked up, of course, and again, spoilers are spoiler-free. When certain characters come back, it just ramps up a few gears, and this is a great scene. I loved this.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Cliff, absolutely hair weapon Viltrumite. Yeah, it was really, really good. If you like battle scenes, it was an amazing battle scene. Thing Invincible is more bleak this season, which takes the fun out. It is, and I mean, if you've read the books Von Hoot, it gets bleaker. It gets much darker before it gets any lighter. Let's be honest, I'm watching it for the battles a lot of the time, and this doesn't disappoint.
I'm just watching it for the ant people snog.
Yeah.
That
was pretty rough, I have to say. Yeah, the tongue come out.
Yeah.
Anybody else watching this?
I'm watching it, and I've never read the comic book, so I've been enjoying it. So I don't know what's coming up, all these new characters. So I've only seen the first episode of season 2, though.
Okay. Yeah, there's some good stuff coming, Efren. Some good stuff coming. James, you've never gotten into this?
I'm so far behind on everything. I want to watch it. I just haven't. I've been in the mood to sit down and put it on. Yeah, maybe when the season wraps, I'll binge the 2 of them.
You've watched season 1, but yeah?
No. I've not watched any of it.
Well, there's a break now is it January? I think it comes back, or February? Is it?
Yeah, so is it half the season they release now, is it? And half the season?
I think must be another 4 episodes after this.
Yeah. I will watch it. Like, I've been meaning to, and I'm annoyed because I get when I'm scrolling on YouTube or whatever, I get spoilers and stuff, so I just want to get it done soon.
Yeah, get season 1 watched. It's and it's got some great stuff coming because it's following quite closely to the comic book. So it really has got some great stuff coming. Luke, not one for you?
Yeah, no, I've watched season 1. I watched it more recently, actually. It's only about a month ago that I actually sat down and watched it. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was great. I've read all the comics, I believe. And yeah, I want to watch season 2, but I've kind of just been sat there waiting for them to accumulate so I can kind of like binge watch them. But you know, I'm a bit concerned. You guys saying that it's a bit of a slow start or it's a bit this, bit that. I mean, season 1 was so good.
It's hard, but because the Invincible book, part of the pleasure of reading it is you invest in the characters, and that's because it is quite character driven and with some great set pieces in between. That doesn't necessarily translate too well into a cartoon, I don't think. You know, because you're waiting for the big set pieces. Fuzzy's just saying here, mid-season breaks are unnecessary. Completely agree, mate. It kills the show for me in some regards.
It's not necessarily a marketing strategy. It could be to give the animators more time to finish the episodes, you know, so you get a better looking product at the end of it. So.
It's just frustrating because my old brain, I forget what's happened. James, you wanted to mention this. This is on my list. I haven't seen it yet.
So it's on Netflix. This is the Scott Pilgrim anime show. It's interesting because it's sort of a remake of the movie, but then like expanding that, and then I think it's gonna go past it. I've only watched the first 2 episodes, but I'm loving it. Like just having the cast back. Scott Pilgrim is one of my favorite movies of all time. So just to see that be back in this world again is really fun, and it kind of expands a lot of it. Like you see the perspective of the evil exes like from the beginning of the story, which I thought was kind of interesting as well. And yeah, it's just so much fun and it's gorgeous visually as well. So yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. I'm just so happy this is a thing, and I really hope this gets like a few seasons, and yeah, this will be around for a while.
Yeah, I'll have to catch up on this. I love the movie. Absolutely love them. Never read the book, but I do love the movie. Anybody else been watching this?
Negative.
So I've put off watching it because I loved the movie so much. I didn't feel like I needed more, like, if that makes sense. I kind of just, I'm happy watching the movie. It's a film that I go back to quite a few times. But now that James has said that, it kind of redoes it, but then expands and stuff like that. Now I'm kind of thinking, maybe.
It's 100% worth checking out if you're a fan.
Doesn't take anything away from the movie, James.
Not at all. No. I kind of imagine it. You know, it's the same thing. It's maybe you know what I mean. I justify it in my head that the two are coexisting at once and are the same thing. But you know, it's an expansion. But yeah, fantastic.
Give it a go. I'll give it a go. I think. I just wanted to very briefly mention this. I don't know if anybody's seen this. This is My Adventures with Superman. I purely caught this by accident because I think my daughter had downloaded it onto a Skybox, and I think it's 8 episodes long or something like that, retelling of Superman's origin basically. And I loved it. It was really, really, really good. Anybody else seen this or caught any of it?
I never knew it was even available. It looks looks like it's towards kids more by their faces look so young, you know.
It is Ephraim. It's quite manga in style, and it's very much built around Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen's experiences of being around the Clark Kent Superman character.
You mean that's another non-ginger Jimmy Olsen?
It's another non-ginger Jimmy
Olsen. Same thing.
It's appalling. Absolutely appalling. You know what I mean? I'm going to start a movement. But I've really enjoyed this. I really have enjoyed it. It's been good fun. The animation style works for me. There's been some excellent kind of throwbacks to some DC characters that I just wasn't expecting. Reimagining of DC characters as well. It's been good fun. And as Cliff's saying there, it's done by the guys at Adult Swim, so it's got some good pedigree behind it. So yeah, it's worth watching if you ever want to watch it. Just a quick. I think the episodes are 20 minutes, half an hour, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Yeah, it is. I've enjoyed it. It's good fun. Right, I'm just going to briefly touch on these because we're going to talk about them more on One Good Scare. This is Pearl. Finally caught up with this. Anybody seen Pearl? This was friggin' mental. This, I mean, we'll talk about it in detail. I mean, I didn't know what I was watching. I think I got to the stage, I think when you were texting us last night, James, I just watched pardon my language, Ephraim. I just watched a dry hump a scarecrow.
Oh yeah, she bangs a scarecrow in the field.
And and I was thinking,
what a good time.
What am I watching? What's this all about?
It is a powerhouse performance, I think, from
Mia
Goth.
Goth.
It's, like,
Mia Goth,
incredible.
is that right? She is phenomenal, and when it all kicks off at the end and escalates, it's brilliant. It's really, really good. But it's worth a watch, I think. Efren, I'd be interested in you watching this.
It's not
horror.
scary.
It's a movie or a TV show?
It's a movie
Okay.
called Pearl. It's
Okay.
basically set in the 60s, I think, something like even earlier than that, maybe. And it's about this
40s, World War II.
40s, maybe. Yeah, it's about this this woman who's living with her disabled father and very strict mother, and it's a bit like, it reminds us of Psycho. It's a descent into madness, basically.
She wants to be a Hollywood star,
Yeah.
and there's like an audition scout, like a scout comes to the town and stuff, and she's just unhinged. Yeah, it's great.
It's an interesting one. I just thought I'd mention that. We're going to talk about that
You've
on
seen
Friday night.
You've seen X, haven't you?
No, I haven't. No.
So this is a prequel to X,
Yeah. So I'll watch
and then
it.
Maxine is the third one, is the sequel. So you should check out X as well. X is great. This character's in X. Like,
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I'll watch that one. And then I watched this. This again is something me and James are going to be talking about in a future show. This is Silent Night, Deadly Night. Anybody seen this?
I watched it this morning. Last
Is
night.
that not the one from the guy from the Stranger Things? Is that Silent Night, Deadly Night?
No.
It's a different thing.
I don't think so.
No, this is from the 80s. This is and Efren, just for you, that's Santa Claus about to decapitate a nun.
Thanks.
You know, yeah. This no, I'm not going to spoil it. Me
I
and
don't
James
want to know
will
what you
talk
think of
about
it
this.
until
me and
we
James
get
will
to
talk
the
about this later.
thing.
But just thought I'd mention it. One, I would say people should go and watch and make up their own opinions. It's a nice Christmas movie. And I just wanted to mention this. This is kind of what I want to end on tonight, guys. I've been doing some shorts lately where I've kind of gone down the rabbit hole of looking at old cartoons. We talk a lot on this channel, and I know on your channel, is about nostalgia.
Does
And I
James
always-
know who these are?
No, we'll get to it in a minute. I always kind of...
I'm gonna take a swing and say the Three Pupketeers or something.
No,
like that
you're
on
not
the
far
left.
off. You're not far off. We always focus
Basketeers or
on
something?
your Transformers, your He-Man, your stuff like that. And I forgot some of these cartoons that I absolutely adored. So Super
Tanyan.
Ted, Dog Tanyan and the Three Musker Hounds. Huh?
Oh, that's worse.
Isn't it disturbing?
Pupketeers would have been better.
Isn't it disturbing that Super Ted ripped open his skin?
Yeah, so I said that in my short look. Where he literally pulls himself open.
Pulls
yeah,
his
it's
bare hide off
horrendous.
of him to
Yeah.
reveal the suit.
So yeah, it's got us thinking about stuff that I love, and I've started doing a lot of shorts on this kind of stuff. And we've covered Count Duckula, Danger Mouse, Trapdoor, all those kind of stuff. So I guess, so sorry, Cliff, who might not be aware of Super Ted. Super Ted was a normal teddy bear, Cliff, and then he literally
pulls
opens
himself
his
off.
skin.
No.
pulls-
Say it properly. A spotted man came down.
He literally rips himself open, and Super Ted comes out. It's a little bit disturbing. Yeah. So yeah, some
The
superb
main
stuff.
villain's a cowboy.
Yeah. Texas Pete. I get you, Super Ted.
See,
Yeah.
do you remember the days of coming home from school around 3:30, and all these cartoons were on CITV?
So that's what I'm wanting you to tell us, Phil. So I've talked a little bit about some of my favourites. So keeping away from our usual comic booky kind of stuff, what are the cartoons or kids shows that stick in your memory that you used to enjoy watching? We'll start with Efren in the.
I think, first of all, did you guys, when I was a kid growing up, cartoons were only on Saturdays in the United States. Did you guys have that same thing, Saturdays? Or was it
No, it was every morning, wasn't it?
It depends your age, I guess, James. But certainly when I was growing up, it was, I think, very early morning. You had a few little cartoons, but Saturdays were your main cartoon.
It's
Yeah.
on the black and white box, was it?
Yeah.
Not with the no. Yeah.
So I believe there was this series. Peter, you may remember it. I think it was called Land of the Lost,
Yes.
where a family member.
Dinosaur one?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one that sticks in my head as a kid. And also, I used to watch HR Puffin stuff.
I've not heard of that one, Efren.
Yeah, it's like these not animated creatures, but like these cartoon looking, but it was live action, but they were big stuffed animals almost, they were it was all comedy. But yeah, I mean, it was, to me, growing up as a kid, was just watching Saturday cartoons. I used to like the original Justice League.
Super Friends.
Super Friends, that was it. Yeah,
yeah.
Super Friends. I used to love that show as a kid, So Those are the ones I remember. Such a long time ago. I think before,
yeah.
and yeah, before I think Hydra and Phil were even born. So
How about you, James? We'll come to you next, mate. What cartoons or TV shows stand out?
From my memory, I mean, like putting the nerdy stuff aside, because like Marvel really reigned supreme. It was Spider-Man and X-Men was kind of what was on the TV, and the Iron Man one as well. You know, I am Iron Man. You know, Scooby-Doo, absolutely adored. Like I'd religiously watch that as a like that would be from when I was probably 4, 5, 6. Obsessed with it. Like before that, even like just completely. No, like Teletubbies. I remember Teletubbies.
Teletubbies.
With the
Von Hoots
with the
with you
baby
there.
in the sun.
Teletubbies. Teletubbies. Yeah, horrendous.
Oh, yeah, it was so bizarre. Like so much of the kind of that '90s kid stuff was really strange. Like I don't know why. Trying to think of anything else. Well, there's like a Fox. There's like a TV Fox puppet character. I can't remember who that
Basil
was.
Brush.
Yes, Basil Brush. Yeah, I used to watch that.
Brush.
Eat some mashed potatoes.
Boom. Yeah,
that
Roger
was-
and Badger.
Bodger and Badger.
yeah. So
Just before I come to Luke and then Phil, just going to quickly jump into the chat here because we've got lots of people jumping in here. Fuzzy Dogtanian had a tremendous for one and one for all. Yeah, I love it. Tremendous, mate. Super Gran. Yeah, I did a Super Gran short. Loved Super Gran. That was it again. Another blast from the past. Cliff saying I watched it as a kid on VHS. I don't recall him ripping himself open. Yeah, we'll check it out, mate. Fuzzy. Eric is Banana Man. Yep, love Banana Man. Teletubbies again. Wow. Battle of the Planets. I don't think I ever saw Battle of the Planets, Dan. I'm not sure I ever saw that one. I'm aware of Battle of the Planets. Is it G-Force? I think it's called in America, or over here. But yeah, never. Don't think I remember what it's called. Pigeon Street. I remember. And Henry's Cat. Button Moon. Yeah, Christ, Fuzzy. Me and you showing rage.
Moon.
Off to Button. Yeah, I
We
used to love that
followed
as well.
Mr. Spoon. Button.
Oh, fucking Bear in the Big Blue House.
Bear in the Big
I
Blue
used to
House.
love Bear in the Big Blue House. I love that one. That was my favorite.
Comic Journey, welcome to the show, mate. Land of the Lost was awfully awesome. It was, and that was. I remember watching the Land of the Lost on a Sunday morning in the UK, and you would have that, and then you would have Lost in Space, the original Lost in Space, with Mr. Smith and all the rest of it. Used to love that. Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. Never heard of that one, Von Hoot. Never heard of that one. That one's a new one on us. Spider-Man, His Amazing Friends. That's one of the things that got me into comics, I think. Spider-Man, Iceman, and Firestar. Yeah, tremendous stuff. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes here. Yep, again, another classic. H.R. Puff and stuff starred Jack Wilde, the Artful Dodger and all that. All right, didn't realise that. Bionic 6. Yeah, do remember them.
Jackie Chan Adventures. Any of you ever watched that one?
Oh no, don't remember.
That's
Jack
a great
Chan
one from. I
Adventures.
think that's from like around 2000 or something. But there's like these little talisman things that you collect. Like you could get the magazine, and it would come with a little talisman. And you can collect like 6 of them, and it was just like you had a prop from the show. It was really cool.
Very cool. Terror Hawks. Now there's a one, Dan, that I remember from back in the day. That was again an amazing series with, was it Zelda, the old witch woman thing? Anyway, Luke, we'll come to you next, and then Phil. What do you remember?
So, Peter, it's like great minds think alike, as always. I've been working on a video myself about this very thing, about nostalgia comics, because one of my collections here is collecting all those first appearances or issue 1s of that stuff. So I've been going through them. There are so many great things. Captain Planet, Toxic Crusaders, Bucky O'Hare, Wacky Races, Street Sharks. I've got a whole pile of them, even right here on the on the desk. Mighty Max was one that really done it for me. The spin-off from the toy line. I thought that was amazing. His magic baseball cap that took him on different adventures. Then you got things like Darkwing Duck and Biker Mice from Mars, Skeleton Warriors. There was so much out there. We had Muppet Babies.
Yeah, I used to love Muppet Babies.
Earthworm
Rock
Jim.
as well.
Earthworm Jim's great. Yeah.
Earthworm Jim was absolutely amazing. And Tailspin, a comic book that I've only just recently managed to pick up. I've been after one for a long, long time. It's really hard to find here in the UK. Got it for $4.99. Boom.
Very good.
But yeah, Gummy Bears. I've been watching that on Disney Plus with my kids, and the theme tune still rocks.
I used the Gummy Bears theme tune when I did a Thor recap on a channel not so long ago.
And
He used
Peter,
that
do you
name.
remember the Pirates of Darkwater?
I remember that.
Oh, I recognise the name, but I can't picture them.
Yeah, it's another one. So I've gone back and I've been watching clips and stuff from all of these shows to find good clips to put into this video. Copyright's a bitch though.
Yeah. Some good stuff out there. How about you, Phil? Any that jump out for you?
Well, did Luke leave me and he left? I mean,
Sorry.
to be fair, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, that was fabulous. What was the one? I always remember Rude Dog and the Dweebs.
Rude Dog and the Dweebs.
Yeah. Yeah, and he drove like a pink Cadillac car and stuff. It was just like really. And Cat Dog, I always remember Cat Dog.
Cat Dog.
Cat Dog was great.
You just brought back memories there, man. I forgot about Cat Dog.
Oh,
Cat
Sharky
Dog.
and George. Who remembers that?
Yeah, Sharky and George. Yeah,
Hey Arnold. I think that's what-
Hey Arnold
Arnold.
was fantastic.
Yeah.
we were so lucky. Kids these days, like I know I sound old when I say this, but I just wish they had afternoon cartoons like we did back in those days.
Yeah, now it's Paw Patrol and
Yeah.
shit like that. You know?
Yeah, some good stuff. Okay, chaps, we're at an hour and a half, so we'll call it a night there. Thank you very much. That was an interesting discussion. Just going to quickly touch on things coming up on the channel. So over on my channel, we've got a couple of videos out at the moment. Got a review of the last Doctor Who episode. Got a Toy Fair vlog from the recent Toy Fair I went to, and my Thought Bubble video. Next Saturday, this Saturday, we're going to have another This Is My. Going to do it at 7:30 so that I can still do my my Saturday Night Live at 9. But we're doing This Is My with a chap called Super Sorrel, who's a big horror collector and general geek. So he'll be coming on the channel to talk all things nerdy. James T. Keegan, tell us a little about this.
Yeah, a few videos up. We have our spoiler review for Thanksgiving up on the channel now. Doing pretty well, so I'm happy with that. And then new episode of I'll Be Right Back is up on Black Friday from 2021 with Bruce Campbell. Yeah, we'll check that out. It's an interesting conversation. So we've that. We have a new One Good Scare on Friday. We're live again, where we're going to be talking about the Scream kind of drama that's been happening over the last week or so. And then the next I'll Be Right Back will be Silent Night, Deadly Night. So that'll be Friday week.
Yeah. I mean, that Bruce Campbell one, it's interesting. We've had lots of people saying to her, "Oh, stop reviewing films that you both like." There you go. You're welcome. You're welcome. We'll listen to our fans. Yeah. So yeah, worth watching. Phil, have you got anything coming up, or are you doing anything on your channel?
No, the next time you guys see me will probably be on your channel, Pete, at some point, I'm sure. I have no intentions of getting back in the saddle at the minute. I'm enjoying my semi-retirement.
Your retirement. Well, you're always welcome on this channel, so you're always welcome. Anything we do, please do let us know. More than welcome to join. Luke, what's happening over on Hydra Collectibles?
Yeah, so you know me, I always like to upset people. So I've put out a video, again, kind of in defense of physical media, but it's more to do with the streaming services and whether or not they've let us down, whether or not they fulfilled their promise of what they were meant to be. It's a short video, but it's not a YouTube short. So please head on over and check that out. And let's join in the conversation. Let's have a chat about it, because I'm still looking for someone to convince me otherwise.
I just think, yeah.
Go on, pull it up.
Yeah. No, I haven't watched it yet. I'll look forward to watching it, Luke. I will look forward to watching it. Efren, what you got coming up on your channel?
That's a good topic, by the way, Luke. I'm going to check it out. So yeah, I don't think some of them haven't, gotten to our expectations that we thought they were going to be for sure. But I'm going to check out your video. I don't have anything much planned. Next week, hopefully, Peter and I will do comic talk, where we just ask each other 5 questions. I've been doing it like for 2 months now, just 5 random questions, and I'm going to ask Peter, and he's going to ask me 5 questions, and we just go from there. I'm trying to do more shorts. I'll focus on that a little bit more. I may be on Instagram live on Saturday. I'll be going to LA Comic Con. If it's any good, I'll be going on live. And hopefully I'll be going on Peter's channel Saturday for a couple minutes, just showing you guys around the Comic Con. It used to be called Stan Lee Comic Con. And before that, I think it was called LA Comic Con. Then Stan Lee his company supposedly bought it. So it was Stan Lee's Comic Con for about 3 or 4 years. And now it's back to LA Comic Con. And there's going to be some actors there from What was that show? The Boys are going to be there. Some of the actors and actors
Oh,
from
nice.
The Boys are going to be there too. And Lord of the Rings is going to be there. The 4 main characters, they're going to be there. Sean Austin, Elijah Wood's going to be there also. So hopefully it's good. I haven't been there for years to LA Comic Con. We'll see how it goes.
I look forward to seeing your streams from that. That'll be good fun, mate. That'll be good fun.
Oh, I'm going to Disneyland in 2 weeks, so I'll be going live there, showing you guys.
Very
good. If anybody's interested.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Which parks are you going? Oh, it's over at your neck of the woods, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to both parks, California Adventure and Disneyland, the main park. So yeah, spend a day there.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Very jealous. Very jealous. James, have you got anything else coming up on your channel, or is it just one good stare?
No, just one good scare.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good, man.
that's it.
It better be scary, man. That's all I gotta say.
It's called Focus. You should try it.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Okie dokie, ladies and gents. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to everybody that's been in the comments. You've been fantastic as ever tonight. Do appreciate you stopping by on a Monday night and spending some time with me. And thank you very much to my panel. It's always been always fun chatting with you. So with that, we'll call it a night, and we'll say a night, everybody. So catch you later. Bye.